Ahoy, Minnetonka! I'm David Law, Superintendent of Minnetonka Public Schools. Thank you for joining us today for the 24th episode of our podcast, Ahoy, Minnetonka. As the 2023-24 school year comes to a close, we have experienced the year-end class parties being celebrated, our students completing their final assignments, our teachers finishing up their teaching and grading, and nearly 900 seniors walking across the stage at US Bank Stadium to become our newest alumni. It's been an amazing year, and I'm happy to take a few moments to pause and reflect as we transition to the summer. I've asked our high school principal, Jeff Erickson, to sit down with me today and share his thoughts about the school year and some of the highlights from MHS, which is truly a school of opportunities within a district of opportunities. Principal Erickson, thanks for taking time to visit with me this afternoon. It'll be great to summarize a year at Minnetonka High School.
Absolutely. Thank you, Superintendent Law.
So our theme for the year has been excellence and how we live, lead, and learn. And you have mirrored that with a lot of the initiatives here at school. How have those themes of excellence in student learning and well-being and support and operations, how has that rippled into the school in terms of your goals for the year?
Well, I think we started the year, as every year, really strong about our expectations, our goal, our community. I mean, homecoming is almost the third week of the school year, which is a great way to kick off that work. But we started with All Aboard, which is helping set our norms, how we work together as a community, how we treat each other, that goal of belonging in that first week. So people really have a strong finish, welcoming the class of 2027 in the building. How will they help have a positive impact on our building? And also setting the year strong. We just said goodbye to our seniors, and how they, at the start of the year, how will they set that tone for the year?
How is All Aboard, how is that different from a typical back to school event?
Well, some places might just say, here's the rule book, take a look at it. Versus this is our staff entering in conversation with the students about what do we want the year to be like? What are the goals that you have? What's the support that we have in our school? We have a tremendous support network of counselors, obviously our teachers, but it's really laying out what the roadmap is for help, for support, expectations, so we're all on the same page. It's led by our teachers, so it's not somebody over announcements or a PA, it's teachers engaging that conversation with students about what we want this year to be like.
So you do a variety of things to make students feel welcome at school and that I think are fairly unique among high schools. What are some of the back to school things you do or intentional connection things you do to create a sense of belonging at the high school?
Well, part of welcoming our incoming ninth grade class. So before the school year starts, all of our ninth graders come on campus, they meet with their first mate, their senior leader, their mentor. That person they've met previous to the end of the school year, the previous school year, so they know who a connection is. We start strong with that connection. They meet with their counselors in small groups right away, so they know who their counselor is. And then really all of the work around respect, what our expectations are for respect in our community. We have a respect retreat with all of our ninth graders. We really work on that foundational level of who we are as a community, how we treat each other, and really enlisting our students to be leaders in that work. So that happens right away. There's a lot of intentional effort. We brought in a speaker for 9th and 10th graders again around how do we learn each person's story, how is love stronger than anything else in terms of how we work with each other and communicate.
So I've been impressed with how you incorporate seniors into the climate in the building. You have a principal's advisory group, you have other student leadership groups. What are some examples of the role students play in setting the climate?
Well, student voice is critical. I mean, a lot of our, not a lot, but many of our decisions come from students. I mean, some of our curriculum decisions come from students, but that student voice through our student advisory council, principal's advisory council, they meet with me monthly and give me feedback about what's working, what's not. We introduced a new schedule this year, new passing time, new lunches. So they give us feedback. We have a student belonging committee that helped guide some of our work around empathy this fall, or the spring rather. So that's a leadership team. We have a student innovation team. So they studied 5 different topics about what will make MHS better. So we really rely on student voice and insights and leadership to make our school better. And then we have the ability to act on those ideas.
Yeah. Our last podcast was 3 students and their experience at the high school, and they really showcased the fact that there was something for everyone, right, and that they really felt challenged and a chance to really have fun at school. Now, shifting to academics, this year you did something called Anchor Time, right, and it was a shift from what was previously MAST time. Can you talk about structurally what that did and then how that impacted the academics?
So previous we had MAST, which was Minnetonka Academic Success Time. It was Wednesdays from 7:55 to 8:40. Even that was critical to be during the school day, so transportation, there are no barriers because the students are here. But for students, that was just 1 day a week for 40 minutes. And so we wanted something embedded in the school day. So we created a very unique schedule in the sense that We had A weeks, which was period 1, 3, 5. Those periods on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were 25 minutes longer. One attached to period 3, one attached to period 1, 3, and 5. So they had an additional 90 minutes every week for additional support. So they could get that support in the classroom that they're at. They could use our new system of the hub and get a pass to go to a different teacher's room. So they had that time built in the day to get help, to do work, and to stay on top of things. And students said they were more on top of their work because they had that time built in during the day. And for teachers, you could access students more frequently than just once a week, and students did not need to wait that long to get that help. So that was every week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and attached to every single period. So over the 2-week cycle, you could always have that additional time with your teacher, and students would know that and get the help they need.
And you showed some data about how that's made a difference.
We had a high rate of students requesting to go into classes. Our academics performance was strong, but just that sense of I can get help when I need it. I'm not waiting a week. And students having voice in what they wanted to do during that time. So it's called anchor time because everything, of course, has a nautical theme here.
Right.
But it really is like, what do I need? What help do I need? Our writing center was open, so if you wanted to work with a writing coach. Registration season, our counselors were in the commons during anchor time. Students could get a pass, go down there and get a question answered in 5 minutes, didn't need an appointment, and quickly got whatever they needed. So we're going to expand that next year with more opportunities for support, academics, tutoring during that anchor time. It really was a positive change.
So anchor time was one part. You also had a theme about engagement. What did that look like, and what was different, and how did it work this year?
Well, I think one of the things we noticed after the pandemic was just this, sometimes a casualness around attendance. And so our focus was really students in class engaged in learning every day. Now that may seem logical, but we really had that focus of tracking students down because many times an attendance issue could be a symptom of something else. So coming with the lens of support and also accountability, making sure students were in class. And we had a major improvement in our attendance, which translates to students being engaged on top of their academic work. It was, now the senior year is over, really was our smoothest and with seniors, and for them also to be on track. So just lots of checkpoints along the way to make sure we're supporting students and responding in real time.
Yeah, I was impressed at the drop in failures, the big jump in attendance in class. I think that's noticeable and it probably will set the tempo for the next few years.
Yes.
Talk about the expansion of experiential learning, all under one roof. What was new this year and what's coming?
So it's been a great year. Our goal is for every student to have some type of experiential learning. And so part of the work was the Momentum Aviation. So this is the first year we launched our Aviation 1, and then second semester drone, which is considered Aviation 2. And so we hired a full-time teacher, Scott Schaefer, just won an award for Outstanding Aviation Instructor, and so we're very fortunate to have him. But we've helped students find their passion. You could go to the new aviation classroom at 7:20 and see kids all locked in, as they would say, on the aviation simulator practicing. We had our first student receive his drone certification. One of the most popular videos on my Instagram account was from prom, which was done by a student who was our certified drone pilot, and he put something together. So he's excited. So it is about students finding their passion. So that was a big addition, a huge win. Next year we continue aviation with Flight School 1, and we'll have one section of 35 students doing world history and aviation Flight School 1 with the goal of the written exam, and that'll be at the new Vantage Momentum building. And then the following year will be Aviation 2 and physics is the combination. One other noteworthy part is all of our students in Aviation 1 had a discovery flight.
Yeah.
So, and I think you had it, we're up on one of those. And
I
so they all have their logbook. I mean, that's currency toward what they want to do. And it just was a testament to our amazing community that was all donated by one of our alumni. So the students had a $250 experience for the low price of $25 to be up in the air. So anyway, we're grateful for that community with Aloft Aviation. They were honored at the Celebration of Excellence.
And for the public, they can go and look at our May board meeting where you had 2 students talk about their experiences in aviation. Just incredible.
Yeah. And I think it really goes to the goal of the school and the board and the district that every student finds their place in the high school. So we're excited about launching the next levels of aviation next year.
Well, I had visited with students in last week's podcast, and they all talked about ping pong club and marching band and DECA. How do you allow an environment or create an environment where students can innovate activities to connect? How does that all happen?
I really think it's just the philosophy among everybody in the building. One of our values as a school is curiosity. And so I think there's this constant idea, what if? Clubs is a great example. If students, as Elias did, I want ping pong club, I think in 10th grade, he gets a club going, fills out a form, we find an advisor, and off they go. So they're only limited by what their ideas are. And same thing with classes. Whenever we look at different courses, we really have student voice in that process. And so it's every adult in this school being committed to student success and creativity and really curiosity. That's what creates all the opportunities.
One other piece that I've been impressed with during my 2 years here, as we do board recognitions every month, just the hundreds of students that are achieving at very high levels in state level competitions, whether it be in music or the arts or academics. What do you think is the magic that breeds so much excellence in student performance?
It is pretty amazing. You look at it, one of my goals through the Tonka HS principal Instagram account is how do we acknowledge and celebrate our students, and to keep up at times with all the things that they're doing. Quiz Bowl just had an amazing run,
Great.
and had great success. So I just think we've got great people. We hire great people who are committed to working with students and are willing to say, let's try this out. You know, that mentality of we've always done it that way doesn't exist here. It's just, okay, what can we do? And students drive that too. They're driven. And they wouldn't say this, but I think they wouldn't say it this way, like it's cool to do well in school. It's cool to show up, get engaged, find something that they like, and then whenever they figure that out, they're driven. You can be here in robotics, they're here at 11 o'clock at night, several nights getting ready for whatever competition. So whatever it is, athletics, arts, academics, they just really are excited about what they're doing, and then that's our goal, to help them find that passion, or sometimes they find out what their passion isn't.
Yeah, right. And that's what they talked about too, is it's as valuable to find out what you're not interested in as what you are interested in. Right. So, we have had the ability to showcase to schools from around the country who come and check it out. And it's always interesting for them to see and experience this and ask these same questions. And we learn a little bit from that. I learn as you explain how things work in those visits too. So it's great to be a showcase site for that. So looking forward to the next school year. What's next at Minnetonka High School?
Well, I think it is that we have this spring launched our new facility at the Vantage Momentum Building. And so we have all of our Vantage strands running next year. One of the strands, the multimedia communications, is back. So we've got really strengthened our numbers in our Vantage program. Our Aviation will now launch. There are 3 flight simulators in that new space. And some look at the combination of world history and aviation, so history through flight and what that course will be. So I think it's launching that. We are continuing to grow our math of home renovation. And that we have a new math course. We've got a great number of students enrolled in that class and rolling that out. And so I think we look at the courses that we have, and then we always come back to our culture. We always say that if the senior class has a great year, generally the school does. And so I work with our seniors a lot in the fall about what does it mean to be a leader? How do we lead by example? How do we welcome our students? And so we'll start that process up in August of welcoming our new seniors and to see what they will do to help lead the school. And so my job is to help facilitate that process, help get their voices to the table, and then really helping our students develop vision to then action. This class that just graduated, I think over their 4 years they raised over $200,000 for family friends. So it's all of those pieces that get driven by determined students and us trying to help them put their ideas into action.
Thank you for visiting with me this afternoon. It's been great to recapture the year and learn what's coming next. And thank you all for joining us for this episode of our podcast, Ahoy, Minnetonka. Take a relaxing summer break. We look forward to seeing you next fall, and we'll see you around.